Hi guys, it's Professor Fernandez and I am an English professor here at Lone Star College Kingwood. I am so excited that you guys are here to learn about a detailed outline. Now this particular video is to talk a little bit about what it is overall, why it's important, and how that's going to help you be a better writer and a better researcher at the same time. So let's get started. One of the things about doing a detailed outline is that it kind of gives you a roadmap of where you're going to go, right? For example, if you didn't know how to get to a place, you would just put in the address and Apple Maps or Google Maps would tell you how to get there. Well, a detailed outline is exactly that. It is the Google Maps, Apple Maps of the English language. It tells you where to start, how to get there, and when you're actually going to end your essay. Specifically your research essay. I personally, as a writer, love to start off all of my essays with a quick outline. Just what I want to say, maybe how I want to say it, and when I know when I'm going to be done with this particular essay. So one thing that you have to know is that, is a roadmap. You also need to know, essentially, it is very helpful for your time management. How and why is that? Well, let's say you only have a couple of days to get something done. And you know that you've got to get this essay done. And you know you have to get it done a certain way. How are you going to get it done? Well, the roadmap tells you what part goes where. So if you only have time to, say, do the intro, you know what you're going to write in your intro, you just write the intro. You know that maybe you should probably work on the third body paragraph. So you just work on the third body paragraph. You look at your schedule and you say, I only have 2 hours to dedicate this. And you make that 2 hours or that 30 minutes or that 45 minutes or 5 minutes as focused as possible. Because how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so not only does it give you a roadmap, but it also helps you with time management. Now let me look at my notes here. I want to make sure I give you everything that you need to know. You also get to see the paper before it's done. In addition, not only do you get to see the paper before it's done, you get some feedback before it's done. Listen, how many times have you written a paper and you've gotten some feedback and it's a whole paragraph that shouldn't be there, or a whole section that just makes no sense, and you're thinking, man, I really spent a lot of time on this paragraph or a lot of time on this section, and yet I'm getting the feedback from my professor that this isn't it. This is why you do a detailed outline. Because you can see what the paper's going to look like before it's done. Before you put one word on the page, you can see the structure of the entire paper. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Do I have enough for this section, or do I need to go back and research some more? You can also give this to your professor. Now, if you are in one of my classes, I adore giving feedback before I give feedback. I love it. Now, what I don't like is getting an entire paper and giving feedback before I grade it. I won't do that. You might want to check with your professor to see if they're like that as well. But what I do love is getting a detailed outline, getting an idea of where the student's going to go and giving them feedback. Seeing all the problems before they become problems. I can say this structure doesn't work, or this paragraph looks like it's a little thin. Maybe you want to expand this idea here or expand this idea there. And so this is really helpful here, especially for the professor who wants to give you feedback and wants to see you do well and be successful. Now, for the next reason you would do one of these is that you want to make sure all the pieces are there. And I've talked about this a little bit, but this happens a lot with research. You may have gone down a research hole and you saw something that you liked and you kept going, and then something happened, right? Something happened and you did more research on one thing than you did on the other, and so now you have this hole. You want to see these pieces, that all the pieces are there before you start writing, because you may have to go back to the drawing board. All right, so here are 5 reasons why we need to do a detailed outline of some sort. And you're probably thinking, what does a detailed outline actually look like? So let's see how you get started. Now, again, I'm looking at my notes to make sure I get everything I have to get in this particular video. And even as I see my notes, my own notes are an outline about what I'm gonna do in this video. So I'm gonna show you kind of a little bit of what that could look like. Now, I am not a stickler to Roman numerals and letters and whatnot, right? So Roman numerals are used. Letters, numbers are used, right? And you've probably seen something along the lines that's something that looks like this, and then looks like this, and then looks like this, and then looks like this, right? And you're probably wondering what all this means, right? It's not so much what all this means. What's important here is the hierarchy of ideas. The hierarchy of ideas means that one idea supersedes the next idea, which supersedes the next idea, which supersedes the idea previous. It also means that this is a detail for this, which makes this a big idea. And this means that this is the entire paragraph. So this is the idea of the entire paragraph. This means first big idea of the paragraph. This also means this is a detail sentence, and this is a supporting sentence, right? And so when you're seeing this hierarchy of ideas here, you're starting to see how things fit in. Now, the fact that this is a Roman numeral and this is a letter and this is a number means absolutely nothing. You can do the same thing with dashes or bullet points. That doesn't matter. What matters is the hierarchy, where everything is going to go, right? So say if we want to look at just this paragraph, we know that this first idea is going to go here, this detail sentence is here. The supporting sentence will probably have evidence or some of your research in it, right? I'm going to revert to you to something called the quote sandwich. Which gives you a little bit more detail about what goes around in this area of the paragraph, okay? Now say we have another big idea for this paragraph. We're gonna bring this down here, the next letter, second idea. And it goes on and so on, all the way down the line until you're done with the paragraph, right? So this is what we mean by an outline. This is what we mean about hierarchy of ideas. It kind of gives you an idea here of where things go. You can actually do the same thing, and let me see if I can clean this a little bit off. Again, with bullet points or dashes. The letters and numbers don't matter. It's the hierarchy, right? So you want something along the lines of something like this. Maybe you have first paragraph, then you have first idea, or the topic sentence. For those who are in English 1301 or 1302, that's where your topic sentence goes. And then you have what you're going to list. Maybe you have a couple pieces of evidence here. See how this works? Is this hierarchy here of ideas. All right? So this is why you need to do a wonderful detailed outline, or at least an outline here. These are the reasons why. And of course, if you have more questions, this is how you contact me. Happy outlining.